Hey friends, this is Kenlyn, and this is your new moon report, as well as the report for the week that follows this new moon. I'm recording on the day that the new moon is exact and Mercury goes into retrograde. So here's the thing. There's a lot going on, as if you didn't know that, because we are the cosmos. We know everything inside that's happening outside. So let's presence that, because that means that we have all the equipment and the GPS systems that we need to navigate this. It's huge, it's big, it's also really beautiful. So let's look at it through that lens and not be scared of anything. Let's take it on like we were meant for this moment, because indeed we are. So here we have a new moon in Leo. We have Mercury retrograde. Mercury's in Virgo, but we'll retrograde back into Leo and then back to Virgo again. So there's something very auspicious about this beautiful new moon and this opportunity to revisit something. And life will show you what it is. You don't need to go hunting for it. And then we're preparing ourselves for a ton of squares. You've heard about the T square coming up. And it also is the same kind of energetics that happened around the last full moon. So the next full moon we're preparing for energetically with Uranus, Jupiter, Saturn in the mix. Venus comes into the mix. And everybody, I'm getting chills, forms these oppositions in order to break us through into something completely new, something we probably haven't even thought of before. It's really crazy. So I'm going to go down a little bit just to keep it simple, but present some of the big things that are happening. And then I'm going to give you 5 things to walk away with, just orienting your third eye on those things, because there's a lot. We've got a lot of Gemini planets. Gemini planets is duality. It's this and that. It's choices. It's noise. It's AI. Well, that's Pluto in Aquarius. And that Gemini, that communication that disseminates it, it feels crazy. And it is. And this is a picture of what it's going to be like in the future. So let's dial in some of the deep truths that we know in our inner compass to carry us forward. All right. So the other cool thing I must say is that we're also in this Lionsgate portal. It starts around like 28th of July and it goes through the 12th of August, but the apex is 8-8. And since we're in an 8-year, it's 888. And I love the symbol of 8. That's my company's soul symbol, the Evolving Sisters Network, because it's this infinity. And I always say leadership in the Aquarian age is infinity. It's giving and receiving. It's being a teacher and it's being a student. There's no more hierarchy pedestal where we outsource our will or our knowledge or our direction to something outside of us. That's been breaking down with this Pluto movement into Aquarius. And we know September, Pluto goes back into Capricorn, September, October, November. So these months ramping up, friends, is freaking intense. So let's get prepared. Now, Lionsgate is not traditional astrology. It is simply what spiritual people have noticed, that the sun in Leo this time of year is aligned with the star Sirius, and Sirius represents our spiritual sun. And I love the codes of the sun. Those are light codes. So Orion's belt and the sun and Sirius, that star that is now appearing. And in ancient Egypt, they worshipped that star as the goddess, and later that became conflated into Isis as well, many iterations of Isis. But that was because that star coincided with fertility, with the Nile flooding the lands and enriching it with water and activating the soils to produce the food. So in our time, we can take that and recontextualize it to mean abundance. Like flooding with the light codes of abundance. I love that. And you know what? That's our interpretation. But if we create that context and we move forward as if it's so, then we start to manifest it. We see it, that we're training ourselves to see this kind of abundance. And when all of us are doing it at this time, then it does activate something in the collective consciousness. So new moon energy, new moon in Leo, already really juicy. Then we have this Lionsgate star Sirius portal. We have had Venus, the evening star. Now she came out of her descent and she is the evening star. We've had her in the picture. She's in Virgo right now. Here's the thing about Virgo. Virgo has been called the maiden. Virgo is traditionally seen as the celibate one, but that's a misinterpretation. Virgo is whole and complete unto herself. That's why she's called the Virgin. She doesn't need to find validation through another person's love. Isn't that one of the messages of sovereignty? It's not that we don't want it. It's not that we don't appreciate it and love it. And we are pack animals and we're communal animals and we're intended to be together. And our lives go through cycles. And sometimes we're with someone, sometimes we're not. And we need to be deeply sourced on the inside to ride the waves of whatever shows up. Sometimes in manifesting, people talk about, creating the life you want. We know we are co-creating. Life is doing life, and life doesn't give a shit. It's just doing life. And you're either going to make up that life doing life is against you or for you. I've had a couple situations this year, and I was sharing with a friend. There are a couple decisions that I did not want. Like, for example, I did not want a dog. I wanted to foster a dog. I did not want to own a dog long term. I love dogs. I just saw my life going in a different direction. I saw myself doing different things that would require not having a dog. But in April, things came together where it was so clear. The writing was on the wall. And in my inner self, I knew, you're going to adopt her. You're just going to do it. Just do it. And I sat there like, seriously? And it's like, yeah, I tried. I put it out there. I did the things. I had conversations with her. We had our whole team and tribe working on getting her the right home. And this is what showed up. So there's an aspect of not my will, but thine be done. And who is thine? Thine is life. God is life. Life is this. So let's get that in perspective as we move forward into a theme of manifesting, a theme of abundance. And so sometimes abundance comes and good things come in ways that we did not expect. And with Uranus in the mix, and then this collision between Saturn and Mars and Jupiter that's coming up, well, we don't really know what's going to happen on the world stage, and we don't really know what's going to happen in our lives. You might be able to get some inkling of where the conversation is, and you don't know where you're going to land. So our job as spiritual people is to have a yoga, which one part of it is surrender. And then another part of it is to show up and have a say. Because you do have a say, but not all the time is your say granted. And isn't that a good thing? I mean, sometimes I think, I don't really know what the hell's down the road, around the corner. So I'm trusting the bigger picture of life. And that helps us let go of attachment. And that's a big theme of this whole astrology from now and through the end of the year, beginning of next year. Okay, so let me get to those 5 things because that's a lot. So the first thing I had is agitation is fuel. If you want to write these down, agitation is fuel. If you choose to get agitated and blame, you're just going to miss the whole thing, because that's just a projection out. But if you use that agitation to fuel your purpose and just like get it done, you will be shown and you will be guided. I promise. And that's the second thing that gets to come up. It's go time with projects. You know, we've had so much back and forth and this and that, and that's not going to stop because we have a Mercury retrograde here. We have Saturn in retrograde. We have Pluto in retrograde. And, you know, down the road, we have Mars and Jupiter going in retrograde. So, you know, are things going to go as planned? No. I mean, I think I shared in one of my transmissions that I'm working with a company in Bangladesh and the entire internet was shut down for a week. Okay, did that go as planned? No, it didn't. So instead of getting angry, I got agitated and used it as fuel to keep going. Okay, I have an extra week. What else do I need to do to prepare them for XYZ? And I did it. So use it. Clarity is here. It's either here or it's coming. It could be here and coming. So, you know, these are just wild, wild energies. And if anyone thinks they know what's going to happen, you know, that I would just suspend my belief there for a minute because we don't. We are co-creating what happens through our intention, through our vibration, through our attitude. Okay, third thing, Mercury retrograde. This Mercury retrograde is ninja, okay? It's in Virgo. They like each other. Mercury in Virgo. Mercury rules Virgo. Mercury's the ruler. I'm going to say co-ruler of this new moon because we can't, the sun is the sun, but Mercury rules Virgo. And Virgo, we got Venus, we got Mercury in Virgo. So that energy is at play. Mercury also rules Gemini. We got 2 planets in Gemini. So yeah, we're a little more weighted on the Mercury side, but the sun is big and we got Sirius and we got light codes. So think about this opportunity that Mercury is giving us to retrieve something that is lost. I love that. I love that context. So, I mean, yeah, computer shit happens all the time. I really am overthinking that's Mercury retrograde because it happens all the time. But you're going to retrieve something lost, and that could be intangible. That could be on a soul level. That could be part of your self-concept. Like all of a sudden, you can click in to a level of confidence even though you don't know what's going to happen, but you're just confident in who you are to take a step forward. I mean, that's beautiful. So let Mercury help you. Let it, you know, even if it's a set of keys that you lost, or if it's a piece of paper, you know, or it's your identity, something, let Mercury retrieve it for you and bring it back to you. And so you can integrate it into your consciousness. Virgo is the perfect placement for these planets because it's helping us get into our bodies and get integrated, process what happened. So like these light codes are opening us up. And I mean, true, opening up our crown. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. You have to integrate into a body. We're not just like getting off planet Earth that I know of at this moment. We're here. And I think that's the game. As Pam Gregory says, we are the species to be enlightened in a body. How exciting is that? So we got to be ninja ourselves. All right. Now I want to say one more thing about that Mercury. I have it in my notes. It's a chance to clean things up. I don't know about you, but I'm revisiting a couple things, even things that happened 2 years ago, cleaning them up. Why? We have more data. We are different people. We know more things. You may have started something, and when you started it, you now have way more information than you had before, and you're going to recalibrate it. That is Mercury retrograde. Love it. Okay. We also have Uranus with the mind, Mercury. So again, here we go. And as I said, Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. So again, we have, one more notch for Mercury being the ruler of this new moon. I hate to give up the sun though. So we're still, we know we have a lot of stacked on the side of Mercury. Who's Mercury? The messenger, the communication, our mind, what we're aware of, the sun lighting that mind, showing us what we're aware of. That's what happens in a full moon. So we are getting ready for that full moon. Powerful, powerful, powerful full moon. So consider that you're planting the seeds. Now, Uranus, working with the mind, what's happening here is we have a change of mind, because Uranus is the change agent, the awakener. It's sudden, it's dramatic, and it's the higher octave of the mind. So your daily mind or your habitual mind or your patterned mind may be like, da, 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 da. I think this, I believe this. And then Uranus comes in and wipes it. Now you're 180 degrees. Something you said you would never do, you're doing. Or something that you said that you would do, you're not going to do. And it's not because you're being wishy-washy. It's because new information came in. New context came in. You were looking at it this way, but then it got turned. Uranus, like, maybe it was like a snow globe, shook it up and said, here, see, look at that. And then you're like, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't get that. Okay. Now you're moving in a new direction. I mean, this is wild. This is why we can't be attached. It's so nuts right now. Okay. I'm going to end with this one, but this one's kind of a bigger picture of this Leo theme, tuning into your heart. So this is the moment to tune in to that place of authenticity, of leadership, of courage, of the heart space, because life getting super complex. Thank you, Gemini. And it's going to continue that way because we have Jupiter in Gemini, Uranus. As soon as Uranus moves out of Taurus, where's Uranus going? Gemini. That is literally the signature of AI right there. Massive change. As if Pluto in Aquarius weren't, we've got Uranus coming into Gemini, communications. I mean, I have chills. I just watched a video of a famous person, AI clone, and I was stunned. I've seen AI clone before, but I just thought it's happening with a bunch of tech nerds. No, it's going mainstream. And this is all the stuff that's bubbling under the surface. Imagine a geyser. It's bubbling under the surface. And when Pluto goes direct in 2025, the geyser bursts. And we have more AI than we ever thought was available. And it's going to be, to our human bodies and nervous systems, totally disorienting. So here's your and my moment. And I feel this so passionately. Thank you, Leo. This is our moment to anchor in our heart, to start to know what's true, not belief systems. I mean, we've seen enough of that. People who think things are true and then barf them at others. I've talked about that before. No, beliefs about what is our truth. What's my truth? Where am I going? With all this noise, how will you navigate? You will navigate through the heart. You will navigate through an inner knowing. You have spent the time through human design, gene key transmissions, astrology, shadow work, really getting to know yourself. And now the time is to put this in place. So part of this package, which is number 5 here, tune into your heart, find your inner compass, I'm going to call it the golden compass. Let it show you the way. And the way that you'll know it's the way is a signature of authenticity. Oh, I just like wanted to sigh on that one. It's a signature of authenticity because there will be many, many bright, shiny objects. And there are many ways to do the thing that you're here to do. But the most powerful thing you can do is do it through your own template in a way that's true for you and discard what other people are doing. I know we hear that all the time, but I think we need to because we're deprogramming ourselves, even around business, how business is done. Business is done every single way, every single way. So find your way, find your rhythm for truth. And if it's not working, you'll get feedback and you have to tweak, you know, because business is a conversation between you and the market space. But the market space wants to know, what do you got? And then the other thing about it is it's up level time. So anything in your field, okay, Virgo's going to bring this in. Virgo's going to say, are the colors in your closet working for you? You know, look, I got this new thing. This is now my new color because the colors weren't working for me. I had capped out. Some of you remember a couple of years ago, I got my colors done, and my colorist teaches inside the Creators Academy now, since she's helped other people get their sets decorated and for Goddess Convergence, for Creators Academy, for making their courses. But that's what I'm saying. Go in your closet, clean shit out, because it's not just being organized with, which is what Virgo really loves. It's your new identity. I'm not that person anymore. It's not that it's wrong or bad. I'm just not it. I don't like it. It's not for me. It's gone. So clear and clean out. Unsubscribe to things that bring you down. I've just started to unfollow, even on Instagram, people that you've hired, contractors. This is the time of alignment. And alignment can be like brutal. Like alignment doesn't give a shit. It's like Honey Badger in that video. Like Honey Badger just doesn't give a shit. And so we do give a shit from our heart. We love, but we also give a bigger shit for our dharma, our purpose. Getting clear. Clarity is kindness. I'm here for this, but I'm not here for this. That's kindness. All of that together is packed with this new moon as we seed the future, our future. What are we creating? And then just hang on for the ride. There's going to be a week of stillness, and I'll talk about it next week. There's not a lot going on except for moon transits. Then the third week, game on. Massive astrology from the 16th of August on full moon on the 19th. So consider this your inward time. Consider this your seed planting time. And I wish you all the best. You've got this. We've got this. And we are together. May all beings benefit from the merits of our efforts.